I think the Nasdaq is due for a short-term bounce because we have not had 3 consecutive closes below the bottom Bollinger Band since 2018. This is with the band set to a deviation of 20 and 2. I usually have them set to a deviation of 21 and 3, but this is, you know, it's almost the same thing, and it's the same principle. Even if you use them at 21 and 3, we are much more oversold and overbought. So since 2018, we have not had 3 daily closes. I'll put a card on the top right, and that video is going to be a tutorial as to what these bands actually do, how accurate they are, how they work. But in short, if you already know what you're doing, this is actually, I mean, it's bearish. It's not actually bearish at all for right now. This is telling you that this is a good buy point, because when you are typically at that bottom band, right, the yellow band, as opposed to the white band, basically just think of this as the RSI being 30, think of this as being over RSI 70. It's basically, it's not the exact same thing. It's actually quite different. These are moving averages, but it's the same function. Buy when you're at the bottom band, sell when you're at the top one. It's a foolproof method. Anyone can make money with this. It's extremely easy. If we go back here, okay, this is 2020. If we go all the way back to 2018, this is going to be the first time, the only other time that I have seen in the last few years that we have had 3 consecutive closes below the bottom Bollinger Band. And what happened after that? We tested the 21 SMA, we broke through, we tested the top band, and we stayed above the top band for a long time, right? For 5 months. More than 5 months. So I'm not necessarily saying we're about to go in a huge bull market, you know, and replicate, you know, 20, what was that, 20, more than 10, 15, 20% right there, but I think more than that. I'm not necessarily saying that, but what I am saying is that we are due for a short-term bounce, and that's not even the only reason. Looking at the Treasury yield here on the 10-year, bonds have actually been going down, right? We actually have been going down as far as the yield prices, and this is what we want. Nasdaq and the tech stocks typically do whatever the bonds are not doing, right? It's been an inverse relationship for a while now. Bonds go up, stocks go down, and vice versa. Nowadays, since April 29th, everything's been going down, including the Nasdaq. It's like, wait, what is going on here? This doesn't make any sense. So no, this is not what has caused the sell-off. You may ask, you may be wondering, why is the sell-off? Why did this happen, right? Why did we break into all-time highs for a second on the Nasdaq and then just free fall, literally just free fall the next 5 days? I mean, you cannot explain it with the bond yields. What about Janet Yellen, right? Janet Yellen had those comments. She said we may need to raise interest rates in order to not overheat, right? She walked those statements back yesterday. So let me be clear, that's not something I'm predicting or recommending. So no, of course, this didn't do it either, right? Taking a look at earnings whisperers. We have 1,000 earnings coming up here, and it doesn't take a genius to, I'm sure you already know this, the earnings have actually been largely good. Earnings have been good, and we're not done with them yet. We have plenty of earnings today after the close, and a little bit the rest of the week here and next week. But they've largely been good, and nothing. And so this didn't cause the sell-off either. And of course, the Nasdaq and the markets are irrational. And yes, we had a double top pattern here that we've been calling out for a while, but none of this is justifying a drop as quick and as far as this one. This is too far, too fast. Also, I want to look at the relative strength index on the daily here. We're getting oversold even with the Nasdaq close. Even right now, we are even relatively close to all-time highs right now, relatively, right? It's at 41 on the RSI, relative strength index. On the daily, on the 4-hourly, we're looking at 32 on the RSI. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is a good buy zone if you have stocks that, according to these indicators, right? Of course, the Nasdaq can crash. Of course, according to these indicators, though, it's not very likely to happen. Taking a look at some other indicators, I'm not just going to give you what whatever I'm biased towards. The 4-hourly is bearish with the Supertrend and the SAR. The daily just got that flip today, or yesterday, I guess technically. So it just flipped. So that's bearish. So, you know, it's not all pretty, it's not all great. Now, of course, these indicators are a little bit more slow to react than some of the other indicators that we can piece together. That's why looking at all of them is the most accurate to decide in the future. Price probabilities, which is why, you know, in my view, we are much more likely to see a bounce tomorrow and next week for the Nasdaq, I think. I mean, as long as we are still hugging that bottom Bollinger Band, on the daily. Realistically, there's going to be a huge bounce pretty soon. We're going to correct to that 21 SMA. It will happen. It's a question of when, not if, in my mind. Current positions and price targets. Those are the price targets. There's the portfolio getting absolutely annihilated today. Oh man, it is a sea of red. Even JMIA with the crazy catalyst that they got, they were up 3% earlier. So absolute carnage in the streets. And if you want to know what I'm doing with my stocks, I recommend you watch the BIOL video later today. Relevant information, of course, to the title is finished now. What do we do now? Live streams. That's what you do, my friend. Go set your reminders for the live streams. Use the Webull links to go get some free money. If you use a different broker, you're like, oh, I don't need that. It's a different broker. Why would I don't need another broker. $100 deposit for a $20 free profit. And $20 to like $1,000 in profits. And I think it might be more like 40 now because they're doing like more free stocks. But anyway, so you get free money with the Webull link. You just got to deposit $100. Then you can get your free money, free stocks, sell them, take your profits, and then get all that money, withdraw, and go to your real brokerage account. And it's all free. Literally, there's no catches. There's no strings attached with this. So go use the Webull link in the description if you would like. Anyways, this is not financial advice. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all in the next one.